This situation just keeps getting more chaotic. The Diddy documentary is back in heavy rotation, clips are going viral again, and somehow every time the conversation settles, somebody reignites the fire. And this time, it wasn't a rapper, it was Marlon Wayans. The comedian went on the Cruise Show on 92.3 and gave his thoughts on the whole Diddy versus 50 Cent situation. The documentaries, the beef, the narratives, all of it. And as you can guess, 50 wasted no time responding on Instagram, and not in a playful way, in a very direct and personal one. So let's break down what happened, why 50 reacted the way he did, and what this situation says about the power of media, beef, and narratives being pushed in hip-hop culture. Now, before you leave any comments, please make sure to watch the entire video. So, Marlon Wayans goes on the Cruise Show and gets asked about everything surrounding this Diddy documentary, the accusations, the backlash, and 50 Cent's role in making the film explode the way it did. Marlon, being Marlon, tried to take a more let's all move on approach. He talked about how he knew both Tupac and Biggie, how he saw firsthand what violence and ego do to the culture, and how maybe we should leave certain beefs in the past, but he didn't stop there. He also raised a fair point that documentaries can push narratives, that depending on who's behind it, what gets included and what doesn't, the story can lean in a certain direction. That's just the truth. Even if the content is rooted in real experiences, the storytelling style can frame someone as guilty, innocent, manipulative, or misunderstood.
No. You working with Pac?
Puff for 30 years.
You saw Big before he passed?
Yeah.
Bro, so you're close. And Jack, what were you saying about that?
I went to college with Puff.
Hang on. What were you saying?
I knew Diddy when he was Puffy.
Okay.
In the documentary, there was insinuations of, that Diddy possibly had something to do with both Tupac and Biggie. And,
Who's telling the story, right? You can skew...
People very close to the situation.
But you can skew... You can create any narrative as a producer and as a director and as a storyteller. I can create a narrative. I could be like, you know what?
You have...
I could create a narrative.
Well, we see it all the time in reality shows.
Reality shows.
Yeah,
you
write a narrative. It doesn't mean it's true. It doesn't mean it's true. I can get interviews. I can do this. I can get footage, and I could make you think this about that person.
Nah, for sure, yeah.
And that doesn't necessarily mean it's true. So for me, I think, look, 50 and Puff have a long-term beef. It's personal. It's
well,
between...
People are saying 50's wrong for doing it, but 50's right for doing it. It's divided.
It's between him and Puff. And before it's between him and Puff, it's between both of them and God. Just the way Puff is down on his luck and 50's kicking a man when he's down,
God is going to...
If 50 ever luck turn up on 50, that... You got to be careful what you put out. There's a karma to every action that you do.
You think we'll see that day?
Huh?
You think we'll see that day?
I don't think 50 does dumb stuff. He's very smart, in terms of his business. I think he already had his...
I think we already would have saw it.
He got shot 9 times. He paid his debt early. So that's why he's like, F it. But, look, this is between him and Puff, and honestly, it's between both of them and God.
Yeah.
So, only God can judge, and both of them people have time to sit with God and talk about and through everything. And right now is Puff's time to sit there and have a conversation, a much needed conversation with God. Like I said, I know his kids, I know his family, I know 50. I've seen Tupac and Biggie, both friends of mine, die for beef. I think we all need to learn our lessons. And at a point, you're going to keep one up on each other until the beef gets so out of hand that lives are at stake, and that's when you've crossed the line. And at a point, now it's no holds bars and bare knuckle boxing. When Puff come out, he gonna probably have the 50 Cent documentary.
When 50 Cent heard Marlon's commentary, he jumped on Instagram, posted a picture of Marlon from White Chicks, and wrote, "Keep my name out your mouth, boy. Short, sharp," and very much a sign that 50 felt disrespected. Usually he'll tag his brands, promote something, or turn a moment into a joke. But when he doesn't, it means he actually feels away. Marlon's comments clearly rubbed him wrong. Now, before we go any further, if you rock with the content, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications for more hip-hop news like this. It really helps the channel grow. The truth is, Marlon wasn't wrong about how narratives work. Media has always been used to shape the public's perception, especially in hip-hop. Malcolm X talked about this in the 60s. Diddy himself has talked about the power of controlling media, influence, branding, and entertainment. He understood early on that whoever controls the narrative controls the culture. That's why he moved into liquor, television, film, and everything else, because influence is a weapon. Now that the documentary is out, people are interpreting it in different ways. Some believe every detail, some think it's one-sided, some think it's exposing long-hidden truths, and some believe it's designed to take Diddy down in the court of public opinion before anything is proven legally. The truth is probably a mix of all these perspectives, because documentaries are never perfect reflections of reality. They're edited stories. While Marlon was trying to bring nuance, Ja took a completely different route. He went right to Twitter threatening to make a documentary exposing 50 Cent. Every allegation, every rumor, he wants to flip the script and make 50 the target. He's been going back and forth online, taking every opportunity to flip the attention onto 50. But 50 hasn't responded to him because their beef is decades old and nothing Ja says shocks him anymore. Their positions are already locked in. What caught 50 off guard was Marlon Wayans. Not because they have beef, but because a comedian with a big platform has influence. Comedians shape conversations. Their interviews get clipped and go viral. So when Marlon spoke about the documentary in a way that sounded critical, 50 saw it differently. He probably felt like, I expect this from Ja, but you've got a platform, you've got influence. So now what you say can affect how people view my documentary. This whole situation also touches on a bigger conversation. The men coming forward with accusations, stories, and painful experiences years later. Some people sympathize deeply. Others question why they didn't speak up at the time. Some say they were manipulated, silenced, or scared. Others say that if someone kept going back to a situation, then at some point they weren't a victim. They were a volunteer. It's a complicated topic with no clean answer, but it's part of why this documentary is so explosive. The allegations aren't happening in real time. They're resurfacing from decades of silence. Throughout all this, 50 has been extremely active. His posts, interviews, and commentary have been non-stop, and that's not by accident. 50 Cent understands marketing and controversy better than almost anyone. Netflix understands it too. Controversy sells, beef sells, scandal sells. Whether 50 is exposing truth or simply pushing his own narrative, the outcome is the same. People are watching, talking, and debating nonstop. And every time someone with a platform, whether it's Ja Rule or Marlon Wayans, adds their voice, it boosts the documentary's visibility. 50 says he has no beef with Diddy, but the energy tells a different story. When you're posting daily, reacting to everyone who comments, and pushing a documentary with this much force, something deeper is going on. Whether it's personal, strategic, or both, we may never fully know. But here's what we can say. This whole situation is a battle over narrative. Who gets to tell the story? Who gets to defend themselves? Who gets exposed? And in hip-hop, the person who controls the mic or the camera controls the culture. Do you think 50 Cent is exposing the truth, or do you think he's pushing his own narrative just like everyone else in the industry? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you haven't already, make sure you like this video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on notifications for more hip-hop news with Dejwe, the hip-hop news guy. Also, if you enjoy this video, click on this next video where I dive even more. I'll catch you in the next one.